Spider-Man 2 is directed by Sam Raimi and stars Tobey Maguire, Kristen Dunst, James Franco, Alfred Molina, Rosemary Harris, and a bunch of other people. And it tells the story of Peter Parker after the events of the first film, now living the life as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and how he's trying to balance those two parts of himself out in his life. And unfortunately, he's having a difficult time. He gets late to school, he gets fired from some of his jobs, he is basically not that good in relationships still. He's never been, but even so now, with his friendships, and is basically struggling with everything, struggling with wanting to be Spider-Man or not to be Spider-Man. He's conflicted. And this new villain, Dr. Octopus, is a new villain in town, as J. Jonah Jameson says, and is right now trying to build a weapon that would most likely destroy New York. And so Peter is trying to stop Doc Ock while having to deal with all of his Spidey problems. And people consider this to be the best of the entire trilogy. And to be honest, as nostalgic as I am with the first film and the third film, I gotta say the second one is definitely the best overall in terms of a movie making perspective. It isn't not as outrageous as 1 and 3. This one is more about the characters. It takes a lot of downtime getting to know these people again, about their relationship problems, who they are from the events of the first film, like how Harry Osborn is dead set on trying to kill Spider-Man after what he thought killed his father. Mary Jane is trying to move on from Peter. She kind of has feelings, but she kind of doesn't because she's with a new boyfriend. And Aunt May is struggling now, trying to cope with the death of Uncle Ben and from the first film. And you can see that her life is not going as well as Peter Parker, but there's still that love that she has for her surrogate son, in a way that you still very much can tell that she's still Aunt May. She's still loving and caring, and you just love her. And Rosemary Harris does a great job, and Kristen Dunst and James Franco as Mary Jane and Harry Osborn still are great in this film. And while I think Harry Osborn took a little bit of a back seat in this one, kind of, he still has enough screen time for you to understand his motivations. And Mary Jane, I said before that I had problems in my first Spider-Man 2002 review, that in the second movie I have problems with her, but rewatching it now, I could kind of understand based on what I seen her go through in the first film with an abusive father and having not that great of luck in relationships in general. You can kind of understand where she's coming from in a way, though I still think they probably overplayed some of the scenes in which she is mad at Peter a little bit, but to be honest, it ain't as bad as I thought it was in the first Spider-Man film. But Peter Parker here, played by Tobey Maguire, fantastic performance, but his character is basically an underdog again. While he is the hero Spider-Man, as Peter Parker, Spider-Man is kind of ruining his life, and once we see him at the breaking point in the middle of the film, in which he is trying to decide whether or not he wants to continue on this life, it's kind of heartbreaking to see how he just throws away the suit and just basically accept his life as Peter Parker only and not be the hero that New York needs. And it was going good so far until Doc Ock had to come in which we got to talk about Alfred Molina now. Alfred Molina as Dr. Octavius is a great casting choice. He oozes coolness, sarcasm. He oozes scientific knowledge. I don't know what to say about him. He's just a really cool villain. And his story arc from wanting to do good into becoming the monster in which he never thought he would create himself to be, or something like that. I thought it was all very well done. And his progression to madness is very interesting to watch. And kind of heartbreaking in a way, as he's sort of a tragic character here. And Alfred Molina does a great job. The prosthetic arms in the back, while not all prosthetics, sometimes the CGI, they still, when they are prosthetics, they looked amazing. Oh my god. I never even noticed that they were real, to be honest, when I was young. And to know that they were actually real arms in the back, it is really cool to see. And they worked very well in the film. This is some of the best animatronics and puppeteering I have seen in a film of this caliber, to be honest. Sam Raimi's directing was also a step up. He focuses on the characters. He focuses on the downtime. The scene in which Peter is at the bar and he's trying to take pictures and stuff for the Daily Bugle, and he gets slapped by his best friend. He gets turned down by MJ when he's trying to reconcile with her. He is basically bossed around by his boss and has to take a picture of MJ's new boyfriend with her. It is a very tough night for Peter Parker there, and you could understand at that point how he might not want to be Spider-Man. And so when he does don the suit once again, when things as Peter Parker don't go his way anymore, and then just fully embraces the hero that New York needs at this moment, now that everything's at the breaking point, it is fulfilling to see. In the train battle, if I go one more second without mentioning the train battle, then you guys are going to kill me. This train fight scene is some of the best in the entire franchise of Spider-Man. Its cinematography is cool. The camera lingers everywhere, zooms into every frame. It captures everything so beautifully. The way it was shot, basically, and the way it was edited was perfect. The way Spider-Man moves around, the way Doc Ock's arms are utilized, and how the civilians are put in danger. It was just an intense moment, and is one of my favorite Spider-Man moments in general. Overall, Spider-Man 2, I can not honestly find any major problems. The MJ stuff wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but other than that, Spider-Man 2 is a great follow-up in the first. It is better than the first. It does everything the first movie does right, but even better, as I said again. The music by Danny Elfman, iconic. The directing, great. The performances are astounding, and the story is awesome. The villain is great. This is just everything you want in a Spider-Man story, and I'm going to give Spider-Man 2 an A+. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.